the budget this year, there's the addition of, I think it's 2 full-time, 2 part-time at the Benson Center. Then there is also in the landfill site, there is an amount of money that is in there for the hiring, whether it be on a contract basis, and I do believe that that's what was discussed at council, for the 1-year period to organize and to gather information. I would just like to know, before these people are hired, is that something that is going to come back to council, or by approval of this budget, we're saying go hire them?
Patrick?
I call a request for hiring. It will come back to council. Some as if the budget is adopted today, some will come back as soon as Tuesday to the council meeting.
Okay, but it will come back under separate motion, and we can deal with those issues at that point in time.
For example, I expect if the budget is approved this afternoon, then when we report to Parks Recreation on Tuesday night, the next council meeting, for the 2 full-time and 2 part-time employees at the Benson Center, because the facility is opening in about 3 weeks.
But at that point in time, we could say, and I think it was a comment that came from Mr. Mayor, was in regards to the, well, you know, the employees have to build with the center, so maybe, you know, it can be 2 or whatever. But then again, those will be discussions that there will be an opportunity to comment on at that time. Okay. When we talk about no capital, I think that the we look at capital and we look at these water and sewer, asphalt, curbing or whatever, but in actual fact, the city of Cornwall over the next 5 years will do approximately $90 million worth of capital with the secondary treatment plant and with the Benson Center. There's actually, you know, we've taken a lot of the capital or the big numbers off of the table, but once these projects have been completed. So I do believe that they're there, although we haven't dealt with the funding yet. It will come through the progress fund, apparently, is what the directive was from before. So to say that we're not keeping up with capital, we've taken some very large projects off the books. In regards to the, also there was $800,000 in reserves, or not from reserves, from surplus last year, 500 and some for the gas tax, and I do believe 300,000 that went into operating reserves, just rough numbers, okay? So, and it was prior to that, we had decided, all of council, to take out $605,000 from the demolition of the Cy Miller Arena. So we were all aware of that, and we knew that we were depleting the reserves by $650,000 with the revenue stream on the other side. So when you look at the fact is we actually increased the operating reserves this year by $300,000. And I would like to make a motion at this point in time, or to amend the motion, that the number be changed with that $250,000 for the development of the industrial park. Mainly because, and I think the CAO mentioned that day, the whole $250,000 won't be spent this year. So we're not going to be getting into that full expenditure. We've added the $300,000 from reserves, so therefore we could take that back out, get it working for us, and then replace those dollars for the expansion with the revenue that will be generated from the sale of the lands. So if somebody over there could calculate...
Is there a seconder? Councilor Thibault. Okay. Debates on the amendment.
Well, we have to know the number to reduce it to. Because the motion reads at 9.7. So by removing the $250,000, there'll be a new number. So maybe...
If I could maybe help make it simple, we can communicate what that rate is momentarily. But the funding that's required through taxation right now, or additional taxation, is the $505,000. So what I would recommend is we take that number and we reduce it by $250,000. So the new number to fund from the tax base would be $255,123. And then we'll communicate with that.
1.56.
We can bring it up, Paul's going to bring it up on the screen. So then by the $250,000, you'll see at the very bottom of the screen, revised total dollars over the 2010 levy that's required is $255,000. So then your tax rate would drop by 3.36%, which would mean that the increase in the levy from taxation would be 0.49%. Previously it was 0.97.
Okay. And just to reflect on that there, if, like, I would agree with council to take that money out if there wasn't a revenue stream on the other side. Because there's a revenue stream on the other side, or at the end of the day, it should not be passed on in taxation. So, did I have a second for that motion?
Councilor Councilor Tebow has seconded, and you should speak next.